Hello and good evening. Welcome to Tuesday's slot of GF Uncensored. Tonight I have got an amazing friend from over the pond that's going to be joining us, and I'm going to bring him in straight away because I've heard so many amazing things about him. Good evening, Chris Garcia.
Hi. Hi, Gary. Nice
And
to
good
see you.
and you too, young man.
Yeah,
Thank you for taking the time out to join me.
you know what? It's a privilege. I'm actually excited to be on. I'm just looking at my other phone. But yeah, I'm just looking at it right now so I could see the comments because on this one, I can't see the comments. I on the other phone, I could see them. So yeah, but to me, it's just a privilege. I know we were supposed to do it yesterday, but I had that show. And again, everybody that's watching, I just want to dedicate the show to my grandma in memory of her birthday yesterday. She's always been my guide. Um, Rest in peace, grandma. You know, I love you. You inspire me to reach for the stars. And I'm just proud that you are proud of me. I hope you're proud of me up there. Hopefully, you're not upset. But yeah, I just want to say that much love to her in memory of her birthday. So
Oh, and what was her name, Chris?
her name was a Spanish name. It was a Spanish name. I can spell it for you. It's Amparo. It's Amparo. But
And she'll be having a good
I
natter to
don't know how you say it
my.
in English. I can't think
Okay.
of.
No problem. I think she'll be having a
Yeah,
natter
I know.
to my nan as well. Usually, that's how they work, isn't it? To all of the viewers that's tuning in now, and
Yeah.
people will watch the show through the week as well. Would you like to give us a little bit of an insight into yourself, and we can ask some questions as we go along? You know, it's your hour. Enjoy it. Tell us more about yourself.
Uh, well, well, when I started my gift, I was about noticed when I was different was probably about 5, 6 or 7 years old. I had my first imaginary friend is what I would call it, but at that time I didn't know it was the spirit guy, but I did. And then as I grew up, I didn't have anybody to teach me to use my gifts. It just my grandma just let me just be like a flower and just have a childhood, but try to be as normal as possible. And then from there, I went to school. I really wasn't really like very talkative unless if they talked to me. I was like always in the background and just I had very few friends. I really didn't talk to a lot of people. Um, but it was a growing experience. And then after I think in middle school, people I didn't tell them that I didn't have the psychic on my forehead. I didn't have the word label on my head. So people just came up to me and I thought, okay, that's kind of odd. I was like, why are they coming up to me? But I didn't question it. I just said, oh, maybe they just want to be friendly. So I made friends and they go, is your name Chris? And I'm like, yes, why? Well, we got a question for you. And I was like, okay. So I was like, this is kind of weird because it was like, I would tell them stuff and then they would be like, this is so weird. Like I would tell them and I would say, oh, it's just a lucky guess. So I started telling them more stuff and then people just started backing off because they were scared of me. And then in high school, it hit like tough. Like everybody just knew who I was. They're like, oh, here comes Chris, because everybody knew who I was at that time. And then after Facebook came out, I started doing readings by text, just by text messaging.
Yeah.
And then it was weird. Like that was a long time ago when the Facebook had that little picture on the side. I don't know if you remember that. And then after that, I just stayed in the psychic closet for a long, long time. And then my friends goes, I think it's time for you to come out. And then I said, no, I'm not ready. And then I think maybe in 2014, I could be off with the year. I don't really know for sure. And then after that, I've been just doing, other people found me on different radio shows, different interviews. And then I got a hold of different family members with investigations, missing persons, like you told me, Gary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That was
then
one of the
paranormal, and it's
questions. We'll
been just
touch on that in a bit.
yeah. But it's been an awesome journey. It's so to me, it's like I can't complain. I mean, if I had a chance to do it all again, I would do it all again because I wouldn't change anything, you know.
Well,
So,
that's
but yeah,
excellent. And
it's a learning experience,
you
and
found
it
yourself.
runs in my family too. By the way, yeah, it runs in my
How far
family
back
from
does
my
how far back
mom
does the
to my.
that side of it go, Chris?
As far as I know, it can go back as to my grandma's mom, her mom. So I want to say it's probably like 10 generations. It could even be more than that. I've always tried to figure out what generation I am, as because in all my lifetimes I was always a woman, a female, and in
Yeah.
this lifetime I came back as a guy. I guess I decided to come as a guy. But in my lifetime, I want to say I could be wrong. I want to say it's either the fifth, either the fifth or the seventh generation of the psychic in the family. But I could be off on that. I'm not really precise on that. That's just a feeling I have. But I could be wrong. Maybe I could be the 14th generation. I really wouldn't know. Um,
So,
but
so
yeah,
as
I
you
can't.
develop as well. Sorry, Chris. There is a time delay on this, folks, as well, because Chris is based over. You're in San Antonio in Texas, aren't you?
Yes, I'm in Texas. That is correct.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
I'm
that's
in
why there's a
Texas.
little
That
bit of
is
time
correct.
delay as well, folks. So ask questions as well. Also, I mean, we all look around the spiritual side of like God and the Creator with everything, and the abilities that He's passed down is how I feel. I mean, clairvoyant, clairsentient, uh, uh, clairguidance, and you do remote viewing and aura seeing as well. Do you want to touch on any of that? How do you find dealing with all that?
As being a clairvoyant, I would see things that in my head, like I would get flashes, pictures, like just saying words, phrases. The clairaudient was more of like sensing and hearing, and then the sense of smell. Even my taste is getting crazy too. So, but yeah, it's been just and then the remote viewing. I kind of mix that up with a little bit of clairvoyant because it's kind of like I'm watching a movie of so to speak. So it's kind of like that feeling that and then also the auras. To me, when I see the auras, I guess depending on what you're going through, is the colors change as time goes on. The colors change color as like when it's time for you to go, it starts getting dimmer and dimmer. So basically, it can kind of tell you about your health, your physical condition. Uh, so it varies on like your vibration of your aura. If you're like a golden color, then you're just pure as what you can be. But yeah, I've also been very in tune with my native heritage because I'm a shaman. I was a shaman in a past life too. But yeah, I've always been in tune with my family. Um, but yeah, it's just crazy. Hi, Leanne. But the thing is, hi, Becky. Sorry, I know there was other people saying hi to me, and I can't type.
That's
But yeah,
fine.
it's just kind of like it's, but it's just crazy because I mean, I've had so many experiences, and by the way, I was abducted too. That's another thing. I didn't really tell that a
Wow,
lot of
let's
people,
touch
but I was
on that.
abducted. On that one, I say I was probably like 7 or 8, 7 or 8, between 7, 8, or 9, something like that. And I remember, and this happened to me when I was asleep. Okay, it didn't happen like I saw a spaceship or nothing. But
Yeah.
at one time, I remember laying down in my sleep in my bed. I could see myself levitating, looking at my body, and just like but I could see my soul could see my body, but I couldn't wake up because of course I was something was levitating me. And then I looked up at the ceiling and I'm like, where am I going? I know I'm not astral projecting because usually when I astral, I just go, I go, and I can know that I'm going somewhere, right? So when I felt it, I knew that there was something else taking me because all I remember was this bright light, and then it sucked me up. And before I know it, I was laying down, and I was like, all I could do was I couldn't talk, and I could see these eyes, but it was kind of like a blur because they didn't really want me to see them. So it was kind of like, and then I was surrounded by maybe by two big ones. I want to say like it's either the green ones, I believe. I don't remember because it's been too long. I don't remember. And then there was a little one, and I remember that I felt that I wasn't the only one in the spaceship because I felt
Yeah.
there was other people. But the thing is that they were blocking me. So I asked them telepathically. I said, "Why am I here?" And I was like, and telepathically they said, "We're just want to see what you know. We're not here to cause you any harm." I was like, "Okay." And all I remember was I could just move my eyes. Okay, I couldn't do anything else. I was just like stiff. I could not move, and I was like freaking out. But I was trying to keep my heart, because I was freaking out because seeing them. And then like I remember they did. I couldn't tell what they were doing because after that it was a blur. And then I
Yeah.
remember after that, uh, that same night I just remember looking at them, and then before that I woke up and I had markings on my body. And and then when I came back down, I guess they put me in a different position that I never sleep, and I had
Yeah.
markings on my body. So I was like, that is just so weird. And I think to me, as being a psychic, a lot of people don't believe that psychics and aliens that they do not have a connection, but they do have a connection because I do feel that they are our ancestors in some kind of way.
Yeah.
And they also do it, they abduct us because they want to see how much knowledge we know of them or what is out there in existence. So it's kind of
Within the
like,
realm.
they're there. Yeah, they want to know how much you know. And then, by the way, too, I got something else to tell you, Gary.
Yeah.
In
Fine.
one of my past lives, I was an alien too. In one of my past lives,
Okay.
a friend of mine told me. I was a reptilian. I was one of the green ones. So that already tells you that I'm in contact with them all the time. I mean, I haven't been touched since then, but I can still feel them. I just don't see them. I guess because they try to, I guess, block my memory because of knowing that I'm older. It was just weird. I mean, but now I can feel them, and I know they're around in the sky and they blend in with the clouds. But the thing is just it was crazy. And by the way, the markings on my body, they did
Yeah.
burn.
Yeah.
Okay, they had like
Was that,
almost like scratch marks, but they
that's a
were like
question just
on my
come in from
arms.
Christina.
I
She's
can't.
asking what were the markings
Yeah,
like?
yeah, yeah. They were like markings um on my arms, and that's about it that I remember. But it took me a while to heal. But I usually covered them up because I didn't want them thinking that my family was abusing me or anything like that. So I had to cover them up. But they weren't like deep, but they burned. And to be honest with you, it's not a good feeling because when I got the scratching marks on my body, I could have had scratches on my legs, but I don't remember. It's been like two because I was little.
Yeah.
But the only thing I could tell you is that when I look back at the markings and I'm thinking about them as we're talking, the thing that gets me is why did I have scratch marks on my body? Did they drop me, or did their nails scratch me or something? That I can't explain. But I can tell you that they did bother me. They really um But yeah, they were just annoying. They were very, very irritating, and they kind of like I had to scratch them, but I just let them alone. So they just went away. So
So at the start of that process, when you felt like you was not astral projecting, but you were see, was it like a dome of an energy field as well? Energy, like you're looking through a fog, and
yes,
that they
yes,
were hiding behind
yes.
that different sphere. It's
And it, you
like a
know what?
dome of
It's weird
energy.
because when that had, yeah, and it had like exactly, it had like a energy that was different. And I knew that I was not astral projecting because I know when I astral project or astral travel, it feels different to me. Okay. This
Yeah,
didn't feel that way. So when that happened to me, I was like, are you serious? And then I even asked him like telepathically, I said, why me? Why did you even experiment on me? Am I the only one? And I asked them, I said, and they told me no. There's other people that we know who you are, so we just abduct you. So
yeah.
yeah, I was
And
like,
again,
okay.
with that subconsciousness, I started to read a book. I don't get time to read many books, but it's in the state of the mind where you've got the link and the connection to the other realm. It's so hard to explain, as you've just done. It's been amazing. Was there something around the black vault? Did you read a book or something, or are you explaining something as well? Was there a black vault with the UFO situation, or is that something you've come across, like a black hole?
Like what? Okay, say it. Oh yes, yeah. There's been some experiences with that too, but I mean, the to me, when that happened to me, um, I want to say for some reason, I want to say it was like this, and then it was like this. It was like a triangle shape with point, and it had lights, like white lights above the spaceship. Because I remember seeing a bright light, but I was like trying to see that like in my, but I actually freaked out when that happened to me. I was just like, it's weird. Um, but yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, lovely. Jessica's asking there,
Okay.
what's the strongest and most usability that you have? What do you think you use the most? One of your gifts?
For Jessica, that is a good question. My strongest ability, I can't really tell you that. That is a very good question. The only thing I can feel off of me right now at the moment, I would have to say is my clairvoyant, but I mean they could be all about the same. The only thing that has been kind of like a little bit is a taste, but everything else is kind of like at that same level. But I want to say the clairvoyance is probably the highest at the moment. Anything else I can't think of right now. My auras, I still see auras, but not as much as I used to. But I do see them when I guess when I'm supposed to. Um, and then as far as the medium part, now that's another story. The medium part, I can say it's about the same as the clairvoyant. It's real strong, and sometimes I'll just get messages that there's just no way I could know. So it's a little bit of the clairvoyant and the medium. The psychic, it's there, but the medium and the clairvoyant is probably the true strongest one that I can think of at this moment.
Nice one. What I find is I'll go to ask a question for myself around the situation, and I'll just get yes, no, straight away, no, yes, and it's just like right, okay. So as soon as I start, it's like my own pendulum that I use for my answers of yes and no. I already get the answers as soon as I think of the question. It goes yes, no. I'm like, oh, okay, that was quick. Wasn't expecting it, but it happens more and more quicker as I go through years as well. So I feel even before I've finished thinking of a question in and around spirit or an energy, I'm already going to know the answer prior to it. It's getting that close with it all the
Yeah.
time as well. I mean, you've done loads of TV work. I've seen, like, you've been on KCOR radio with Dave Cook, who I've done a show with myself as well. Tell us about some of your TV stuff. Have you written books? Is another question come in?
See, that's another thing too. Have I ever written a book before? No, I haven't, but I've been told by many numbers of people, David. Thank you for that good question. I like that question. Um, to be honest with you, no, I have not wrote a book, but like I said, I have asked numbers of people have asked me, you need to write a book because your life is just you have
Full.
so much to write about because of all the stuff that that you're going through and stuff like that. But when I do write a book, David, I will let you know. And the title of the book, I wouldn't be able to tell you right now. I mean, I have had ideas, but not anything specifically because I don't have any producer. I mean, not producers, but I don't know any publishers that can help me write that book. Because to me, if I
Yeah,
write that book, I'm not gonna write it down. I want someone to record me
yeah,
and then put it into a CD and then somehow create the book. With all this
yeah,
technology, I'm
yeah.
not gonna have time to be writing a book. I don't even know where to begin. So
Well,
that is a good
like tonight,
question.
we always start at the beginning, don't we? Also, I've seen where you've read a few certain books in and around the book of transformation, psychic children, psychic kids, a lot of paranormal books out there. I know you're a helper and a healer. One area I always find it's always nice to guide his young children in and around being open and psychic to receive. It's nice to support the kids out there that's trying to deal with this. Have you had any situations like that yourself?
Honestly, with helping kids and stuff, yes, in the past I have helped them. As a matter of fact, I have a friend that her daughter's very in tune. She's known, but I guess she needed some kind of help. So I have helped my kid, but I'm always making sure that the parents are there. Because I don't ever like talking with children, just out of respect for the
Yeah,
parents.
sure, yeah,
But for me, it's just I've always loved helping psychic children or integral children. So I've had different people where I told them, there's things that if I tell you what I pick up off of you, then I'll tell you.
yeah,
But, I'll just tell them you need to look this up and I'll send them all these different links of what they can look up and they can research. And me as a psychic kid or a psychic child is what I would call myself. Yes, I've had a lot of different books that I've read. I've had like the one that you said, The Psychic Children.
yeah.
I don't know, I have a book behind me somewhere. It's an Indigo and the Crystal Children book. I've had different types of books from all types of different things because I'm all into different psychic stuff, psychometry, and that's another thing I can do. Psychometry is touching objects
Yeah.
and feeling the energy. But yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that I've done that kind of just rings a bell. And I actually did have a book a long time ago about tarot. What other books that you can do? About reading about how much does the tarot can you get into it and stuff like that. So I've done a lot of reading because it's very interesting. And I also have one of the I don't know if it's behind me. I don't know if I could get it without dropping the. Well, I can't get it, but it's called the most haunted places in the America. I have it behind me. It's probably about this thick.
Go for it.
It gives you different. Yeah, it's got a different book. Like I don't know if I can show it because I don't want to drop the tablet. But hold on, I'll see if I can get it real quick. This book I have done a lot. Has a lot of different names from different people. This is a very interesting book, by the way. See, I don't know if you could see it.
Just a
I'm
little
trying
bit
to put it on the
closer.
camera.
That's a bit better.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's a real good book to read. It's Encyclopedia of the Haunted Places. There's ghost locations from all around the world, and it's by Jeff Bellajay. It's got the most paranormal investigators. He's got like their contact numbers on there. Um, but yeah, I like to read a lot. There's things that I've highlighted in that book. That's one of my old books. I have like different types of books, so it's kind of like because for me to go into a haunted place is like going into a candy store. I'm sorry to say it
Yeah.
that way, but that's how I feel. When I go into a location or like when we talk about the missing persons, I like to test my abilities to the fullest. I even test myself. I'm not joking. Um, I've done it to where I tell them if I'm doing a location on video or whatever, I said, don't tell me anything. Don't tell me anything. Um, and I like testing myself. And 9 out of 10, the things that have always been validating for me because it's kind of like it's amazing. I get this rush. I don't know about you, Gary, but when you help people, you get this like this excitement and you just get this adrenaline. You know, your body just gets all these goosebumps and stuff. So,
It's that
but
little bit of
yeah,
clarity
it's
back
kind of
that takes the box, and you're like, wow, that's
yes,
amazing. Keep it
yes.
going. And your adrenaline does build up more, and you just get stronger and stronger and stronger. I have noticed as well, is a national museum over there close to you around the paranormal world, the afterlife, is it? Or the archives of the afterlife? You've been there, have you?
Oh, yes, I have. I've been to, of course, the Animal because we have the Animal down here. We also have Emily Morgan Hotel, which back then was this where they did the what do you call it? I can't think what it's called right now. It's where you it was like a funeral home, but now it's a
Yeah,
hotel. There is a
yeah.
13th floor that does not exist. Okay, in that hotel. Um, what else can I? There's another hotel. I can't think of it. It's on this side by the River Center Mall. I can't think of the name right now, but it is haunted. I mean, and where we live, there's a lot of history behind a lot of hotels. And there's a lot of locations that probably have not been like to where people can investigate and see if there's claiming paranormal phenomenon. But I know that there is probably other places that are not even listed or
Yeah,
that nobody's aware about. There's even a restaurant that's uh that's um that's haunted too, and it's right across the street from the courthouse. So there's different places where you can go from hotels to restaurants to just stuff like that. So it's kind of like so yeah.
that's amazing as well. And you've had experience or like paranormal experiences. Can you give any amazing situations around the paranormal world where you've investigated? And I know you've done some stuff. Was it with Joe Warner, if I can correct me there, or is it? There's obviously again we're touching on paranormal hotels, and you've done. Uh, there's just that much stuff there. What would you say is you really love around the paranormal investigating side that you've come across?
Well, to me, I can't think of anything that stands out because they're all amazing. There's not one that stands out more than another. As far as the paranormal, I've always been kind of just like always amazed of what different kind of things have happened. Like the only thing that I've experienced that's kind of weird is that over there by the Alamo, I think this was on a misty day, okay? And it
Yeah,
happened one time where I was with a friend of mine and I had my digital camera with me, right? So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna experiment, outside of the psychic, stuff. So I started taking pictures and I said, if there's any spirit soldiers, I started taking pictures. So I took maybe like 2 or 3 or 4 pictures. My camera died. Okay. Brand new batteries. Okay.
yeah.
I had 2 phones at that time. Started videoing and I said, okay, anybody want to show themselves? Come out of my phone. Same thing. Took 2, 3 pictures. My phone died. And I'm like, I just charged my phone. Are you serious? So, well, that happened to me. I said, you know what? I'm just going to take a break. So my friend came and says, where are you at? I said, I'm downtown. So she was like not that far from where I was, and I was just looking around, and it was kind of like a real misty day, right? And there was this man. He had like a cap with a long leather coat, and he was like, just waving at me. And I'm just looking at him, and he just smiles, right? And he was like from here to maybe maybe 30, 45 feet away from me on the other side of the grass, right?
Yeah.
So I wave at him, and my friend's looking at me like, "Who are you waving at?" I said, "There's this guy over there." She's like, "What guy? You don't see him? He's over there by the bushes." She goes, There's nothing there." I was like, "Are you serious? You don't see him? He's waving right at you." She was, "I don't see anything. I said, "He's waving, and I can tell you what he's wearing." So after that, I guess I scared her. And then she goes, "You know what? I gotta go to the restroom. You're scaring me. You're really scaring me." So I was like, "Okay, whatever." So while she was going to the restroom, I decided to go investigate, right? So what I did, I went up to the building because I thought that maybe there was a restroom on the side,
Yeah.
because where there's restaurants and places, there's usually restrooms on the sides. It's like the female or the male,
Yeah.
right? So I thought, oh, maybe he went to the restroom. So I started walking towards where I saw him, and all there was just a wall, and then there was red tips. The red tips were tall. They were very, very tall. And then on this side was just the building, so they were both connected. So I looked and I'm like, where did he go? So then I went towards a little bit further, and there was just a wall. And then I looked to the right, and there's this gate, and on the other side is a wall. And I'm thinking, oh my god, I just experienced a ghost because I
Yeah.
saw him for like a second, and then I turned around and he disappeared. So I kind of figured that he went right through the wall, but because on each side of where I saw him, there was no way out. So I was thinking, where did he go? So I kind of figured that he just went through the wall, which sounds kind of weird, but yeah,
Welcome to our
that
world.
that's weird. You should see it, Gary. When I look, because I kept trying to debunk it because I was like,
Yeah.
where did he go? I was like looking, and I was like, there's no way he could get out.
Did I
So I
just
was like,
see what
this
I
is
just
weird. I
see?
was like,
Yeah.
that's what I said.
Oh,
I said that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, and then what was so crazy was that he was as solid as you. He was so solid that you could see his face, you could see his hair, you could see the hat, you could see, I mean, you
yeah.
could see him solid. He was not an outline. He didn't have an aura around him. He was as solid as you and me. And then when I looked, I was like, how can a solid person, there's walls, there's a gate door on this side, and on the other side, there's a wall. I was like, where the hell did he go? So I kind of said, okay, I guess I just saw a ghost.
What period would you say that
So
was from? About 1880s? What was his attire like? What was his dress like? What was his mannerism like? Did he have a hat on or anything or a cane?
honestly, he looked. Yeah, yeah. He actually had. You know how the private investigators used to be in a long time ago when they had that leather coat, the private investigators. He
Yeah.
had like a hat, but then I researched it and find out that man I saw, he buried some treasure on the land, but he doesn't know where it's at. So
Right.
I guess he's looking for his gold because I read up on him, and it said in the book that you will see a man with a hat with a long leather coat. Because the first thing when I saw him, I kept thinking that maybe he was a private investigator back from the 1700s. But then at the time, I wasn't even born yet. So I was like, I guess he's looking for his treasure. So, but I
Wow.
mean, I haven't seen him lately because I don't go downtown to the animal. But that was like maybe about 10 years ago when I saw him. So,
Okay, excellent explanation there as well.
so
Jessica, again, another fantastic question. Do you do any spirit rescues? Rescuing with the houses and clearances and
yes, I
stuff
do. I
like
do. Yes,
that? Is
yes, I
the
do,
is,
Jessica. I do spiritual cleansings. I also do spiritual walkthroughs. And if you need for me to, like, if I was in your state, I would bless your house. I would clear it of anything negative. I also do walkthroughs of the location of if it's a business or a house residence. So yes, I do spiritual rescues. Yes, I do. I
Is
know,
there
Carl.
any is there any nice happy endings you can explain to some of the viewers there that you've, sometimes when we do crossover and we get a thank you as the reuniting with the family as well. Have you ever had any experiences where it blows your mind away as well when you just get a little thank you as well from spirit?
Honestly, I think the most thing that I've had that of all my career, I mean, I know there's more stuff, but I think the one that kind of stands out right now is when there was this one female. She was missing. Okay,
Yeah.
they had no clue where she was. I told them exactly where she was, who she was with, the name of the guy, and I told them on what part of town he was. And maybe within, I guess, 24 hours, they found him. They found her with him. They put a restraining order on him. Um, she was missing for quite a bit. She was missing for quite some time, and they brought her home. They contacted me, and they told me thank you. Now that
Oh,
is something that it's amazing. I mean, not as being a psychic medium, we don't always get happy endings. Sorry to say that, guys, but sometimes we do not always get happy endings,
and
especially when
what
people are missing. That's one of them. So, yeah.
And what a lot of people don't understand about is we do receive a lot of their mannerisms, their emotions, what they were going through prior to something happening. If it was a sad, happy time or shock or anything like that, we do get a lot of the experience of their weight on your shoulders and bombarded you and hit you with it all at once when you're linking in. As soon as you link in, you open that doorway with them and the connection. You can be bombarded by a lot of that all at once as well. So it's all about keeping it, it doesn't over affect you too much. Our lovely Valerie's got a question there just coming in. Have you ever been in the UK? And there's lots of haunted places over here. I do believe you've been to Blackpool, haven't you?
Oh, no, I haven't. I've never been there, but I would love to go.
No
I would
worries,
love to go
Blackpool.
there because I've heard that up there. I've never been up there, but I know that the UK's got a lot of haunted places. Um, but I can't really think of any place I would like to go to. Maybe if I had like a friend or maybe someone that can give me a tour, maybe I could go maybe one time and go visit up there. That's something that I would like to go because the UK I've heard is very beautiful up there. But they say that y'all get a lot of rain up there. That's the only thing. Uh, but other than that, it's pretty good. I can't complain.
Okay, I think might have seen one of your tags in when it's been in the UK is Blackpool. I think that's where that's come on when been having a little look as well. You haven't been to Paris, you haven't been around the Eiffel Tower or anything.
No, I have not. I mean, I would love to go though. You never
Yeah,
know.
it's okay. So England as well, it's well worth getting over and having a tour around here as well. A little question for myself, in around the true crimes with things as well. That just seems to be amazing when you can tie things in and help people as well, understanding certain things as of helping. Uh, do you get involved with the police and all that as well? Do you get a lot of help from people in
Yes, I
distress?
get a lot of yes, yes, I do. I get a lot of feedback, a lot of good feedback with law enforcement. But it's just amazing to where that when I connect with the law enforcement, I do get feedback, not just from here, but I get feedback from different states, and people still contact me. A lot of them have friend request me on Facebook, so I have a lot of law enforcement people on my Facebook. Um, but yeah, I've always had good, feedback with stuff, and it's just amazing to me. And that's to me, when you do missing persons cases, it never gets boring. It never gets dull. It's always something new that you find out. It's it's always like how can I put it? It gives you a lot of you have to use a lot of energy when you do that kind of work.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is draining, but it
yeah.
is but it's rewarding when you can find a body or you can bring the person back home if they're still alive at that Pacific time.
Yeah, and that's always the we always wish it for that happy ending side of it, don't we? As well. Have you been to any asylums or anything like that in and around you on investigations? Where else would you? Where else would you
Well,
like
I
to go
haven't
in America?
been. Honestly, I think if it was me and if this COVID wasn't around, I think I would go to Alcatraz in California. If it wasn't as bad as in California, that would be one of the places. I know there's a place in, I believe in Pennsylvania, that's Asylum. I would like to go there too. But there's just, with this COVID, you really can't do very much. I mean, you can help people online, like the way we're doing now, talking and
Yeah,
stuff. But as far as like physically being there, no, you can't really be, without your mask and social distancing. But those are the places I would love to, help people. And and that's one of my places that I would love to go experiment is Alcatraz. I don't know why. I've always thought about why am I drawn to Alcatraz? Is there like a past life or did I work there? I don't know. But when I look at it, um, it kind of like draws me. It's like that pull, like that magnetic pull. So there is probably something that I would love to go invest, to locate that, place. But there's a lot of places that I've besides that I would love to go to. And hopefully with this COVID, hopefully it goes away. Everybody can do their own thing and travel and get back to somewhat normal life is what we would call it.
yeah. Certainly needs to, don't we? We certainly need to get out and about there as well. Jessica's saying she likes the way that mediums work and the different types of abilities that people have and how each individual works as well. So everyone does work in different ways, don't we? When we're out there and doing what we do best, and enjoying it as well, because it is nice to find certain answers as well. But seeing other people's abilities and how they work, I find it's just fascinating as well myself.
Yeah, and I think to me, what's another place too I would like to go to is Waverly Hills. I don't know if my friend Beth is watching, but that's another place I would love to go to. I think it's in Kentucky, if I remember right. That place I've never gone to, the Waverly Hills place. It's huge. I've seen it all over Facebook. When I look at that place, I know that you get scratched. I know that there's a lot of energy. Hold on.
Oh,
Okay, that was weird. Okay, on the second floor. Okay, that was weird. I heard something about 504, and then I believe there's 3 floors up there. I have never been there before, but I know it's huge. Um, it almost feels, and I know I don't really know too much about the location, but I know that that's one of another place I would love to go. But there is so much that I would love to go there if I had the chance. Yeah, it's kind of something that's another place I would, if I had the chance to go, I would love to go to Kentucky and check place, that place out. So yeah,
and that's what happens sometimes. Even talking about a location or a place, you can get a window coming in and a connection and a link, and spirits start showing you of you connecting just straight away there. So I know how you work there. I could see the image when you was talking about the gentleman before. I could virtually visitate his clothes. I could virtually see his clothes as he was explaining things as well, which is always nice. Uh, what type of, if you go on a paranormal investigation, what type of equipment do you like to have with you, or what type of things do you have, like a little set bag that you take with you, or for equipment wise you put your hands
yeah,
on?
I do. I actually got this. This is I just bought this. This is a EVP recorder. It's brand new.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one. I've also had a K2 meter back there in my dresser. I also have dowsing rods. Okay. Um, the thing that I haven't tried it, and I just ordered this from California. It's a Portal Spirit Box. I've been
Yeah,
anxious to use it. I just got this. I ordered it. But those are some ideas that if I do want to talk to him, I will use that. Um, but there's a lot of things that I can like. I think the K2 meter is one of them. I love the K2 meters. Thinking about trying to get other equipment. I can't think of what it's called, but I think it's called the it's something REM something trod. It's where it's got like a round thing. It lights up and then it's got an antenna. That's something I'm thinking about getting too. Um,
Rem, the REM pod.
I can't think of anything else, but yeah, I'm thinking about getting one of those. I know they're kind of pricey, but they're something draws me to them. But I think with the scientific stuff, it's like the EVP, um, the spirit boxes, dowsing rods, the K2 meters. I mean, you can't go wrong. Oh, and then the laser light, the ones that have the different designs. I got one of
Yeah,
those too. It's one of the laser where it uses, the laser grid is what you call it. But there's just a whole bunch of things that I would use if I was on going on an investigation. But even though I would use those things, I would still use my ability with those scientific things.
yeah. In and around any shows or anything you've been a part of, was there a show that you like around channeling? Bonnie Vent, was it? I've just touched on it a little bit. I don't do you any of your friends, do they do any channeling or do you do that yourself?
Yes, I do have friends that channel. I do that sometimes. That it varies with me. Like with me, it just flows with me. To me, you just never know what you're gonna get when you get a reading from me or what spirit has to say. Some things just pop up random. A lot of things are just there's just no way. So it really does. And I do channel also, and I do the psychometry, like when you touch an object and you can feel the energy of something, or touching the walls of a location. It's just different things. And for me, I think like what you said, um, with the paranormal stuff, I think, with the all the stuff that you can take with you. Like I said, I would also use my gifts along with channeling the location with also the K2 meter and asking yes, no, who are you, what's your name, and so forth and so forth.
Do you see, like, I always, if I go to a location or go to a place, in my mind, I'll always introduce myself, who I am prior to getting there, to like the gatekeeper or somebody that's looking after the lie of the land. If there's an imbalance, you'll always get a positive energy trying to look after the negative. And I always try and introduce myself spiritually within my mind to throw it out there as I'm only here to communicate with you. And I'm not here to bombard you. Do you see certain spirits like that you recognise as a gatekeeper or somebody that's looking after the land there to keep it balanced? Do you see any spirits like that as well?
Yes. I mean, yes, I've done times where I've like can feel the location. Like if there's a location, I'll know that if there's a person that died in that location, I would know that they would be the owner, and they would say, and I would just be like, kind of like knowing that, hey, I'm not here to take within your space. I'm just here just to investigate and communicate. I'm not here to attack you. I'm just here to get answers and stuff. And usually when I talk to spirits, I do say that too. I'm saying my name's Psychic Chris Garcia. I'm not here to hurt you or anything, or I'm just here to communicate. Do you have a message for anybody here, especially if it's a family member? Um, so yeah, and there's times where I could feel them, and then even sometimes I'll get like premonitions. That's another thing. Usually before I get like a reading from a client or so forth, I usually get premonitions before I read the person, and usually I post my dreams on Facebook. And it's been just lately. It's been just that's another thing. It's been coming in like rapidly, and I have to remember everything at that time. So when I'm just trying to put it on Facebook, I try to put it the best way I can to type it, so people say, "Oh, is he talking to me, or is that just?" But that's how I do things. And I usually always put my visions either with a client or I see it as a message that something's coming. So I do get premonitions of disasters too. Uh, that's something I didn't mention. I should have mentioned that. But yes, I do get premonitions of different things. So it varies. So
Also as well, where you've mentioned on disasters, I usually have a little things that tie in with like the deja vu, and then it builds up towards something that's ahead.
hmm
A few disasters I've been in and around myself in the 80s, basically 1980s onwards, and that, and it's hard to keep hold of that and not say anything. It's like,
yeah,
well,
it's hard.
you know it's going to
Yes,
hit, and when it
it is
hits,
very
you're
hard.
like, I knew that was going to happen. And sometimes even seeing a film or watching a rerun of something that's happened in the past, or they've made a famous film about a famous actor or a person or something that's reliving history, you're going, you're drawn back into it, like of what's the Tom Hanks with Private Ryan, and you're on the beach, and then next minute I'm seeing all the flashbacks of that reenactment going on, but I'm actually seeing physically, not the telly, I'm seeing the gentleman linking in back to all the lads fighting on the beach, and
Yes.
you're virtually reliving that situation, and you're virtually back in like 1942, 1943, and it's so hard. And again, like you said, explained at the start, Chris, it's seeing the cine films. It's like you can be watching that, then your guide and your team are showing you
Yeah.
certain clips back from
Yeah.
that.
That. Yeah. That is, and then you know what? That is hard too because you never know. Like when you get spirit and you just there's nothing that you can really do that kind of like that stops you from getting the messages because you're always going to get messages no matter how much you do things. And sometimes, I mean, like what you said, when you see disasters, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how to put this. I think it's hard to like if you know something's going to happen and you want to go and tell somebody and then they're going to think you're crazy. I mean, that's something that we all as psychics got to do. Like, sorry, I'm messaging somebody too, so in case they
That's
want to
fine.
watch it. But yeah, it's just but it is kind of hard to, as you're seeing it, you feel like helpless. It's like you want to do all this stuff, but you're just like, what can I do that can kind of help kind of the issue? And you're just like, well, I don't know. I mean, you really don't know, and that's what makes it hard. You really never know because to me it's I don't know.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, I had
I've seen a lot of disasters, and I yeah.
there was a situation there where I went to Prague, went over to Czechoslovakia, and I was on. It was about -10 over there. It was really cold, about 2009, and I was on one of the bridges, and I could feel myself starting to cry, even though I was with a good friend. And I thought, I can't let them see me cry. Nothing was going on, but all I could see was tanks going over from one area to the other, back from the wartime period, and I just felt the heartache of people going into battle and stuff like that. So when you're getting flashbacks and visions like that, it's like it takes you by surprise as well. So I can put another little
Yeah.
question in there. If you could, Chris, if you could have
I know.
dinner with anybody, there you go. Who would it be and why?
Honestly, for Karen, that is a good question. I like that one. I've already met Chip Coffee, so I've already met him. He's one of my favorite ones. That's well known. Uh, but as far as like having dinner with him, I mean that would be awesome if I did. But I already met him before, so he knows what I look like. Now as far as anybody that has passed, ooh, I think off my head, I would think Lorraine Warren would be one of them. I've always been drawn to her. Rest her soul, rest in peace. Um, but something about her just kind of like amazes me of all the work she did with her and Ed. Um, but if I had a chance, if I would have met her before she passed, she would be one of the people that I would love to have met. Um, the other one too is Amy Allen from Dead Files. She's another one. Of course, she has a disease, but she's still alive. But there is so many people that I can't even tell you, Karen. There is so many people that there's a pull that I feel with certain people. Like Chip, I already met him. Um, I can't think of anybody right now. I'm trying to think. I think Grant from Ghost Hunters would be another one. Jason, Steve. Um, I can't think of anybody else on the top of my head. Oh, what's his name? Adam. And then the other girl, Amy from Kindred Spirits. She's another. There's another one. Uh, there is just so many. I cannot even tell you, Karen. There is so many people. I bet you she's laughing. She's like, "This is." You know what? I like that question, Karen. That's a real good question. Good job.
And also now we're coming a couple of
Oh my
minutes
god.
towards the end here now, Chris. Again, thanks for your time. Where can people get hold of you if they want to contact you for a reading or just touch base with you as well? And is there any links that you've got that you can put out there that can like put onto the end of the show for
Oh,
you, and then people can get hold of you?
well, you can reach me at, of course, Chris Psychic Garcia on Facebook, or you can reach me at my own personal cell phone at 210-974-3470. Again, 210-974-3470. And then I think the other website, I can't remember offhand, but I'm going to see if I can get it right. It's Garcia187bluelove.com/WIX site something. I can't pronounce that other one. I'll probably send it to you, Karen. So maybe I don't know if you could put it. I should have given it to you
Yeah,
before, but I
that's
think it's
fine.
WIX site something. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. But in case if they want to find me, they can either now if you can't add me because of people trying to friend me on Facebook, just find me on Messenger and you can send me a friend request and we can talk like that. Um,
You're also
and
on
then if you want
Instagram
to
as
email
well, aren't
me, Garcia. Yeah. And then you can also email me at Garcia187bluelove@gmail.com.
you? And you're on Instagram as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, I am. I'm on Instagram.
I like to see
Yep.
if there's any
So,
interesting pictures on there as well. Thanks for a great hour, and again, it always flies. Thanks for everybody that's been interacting. Thanks for all your friends that's been supporting you as well through the show. It's been great to catch up. What have you got planned for the rest of 2021 when you can get out and about?
honestly, I mean, I really can't tell you what I have planned because I really don't know. I mean, I know I have other shows this month, and then I have one in March. And then I think I have one in May or June, I believe. I don't remember, but I think if you follow me, it will give you um the if you find me on Instagram or like Gary says, find me on Instagram or on Facebook, you will see my notifications on there when I'm having a show. I'll post the screenshot a picture and I'll tell you where I'm gonna be on, the time, blah blah blah. Um and then as far as like hopefully maybe in June, maybe July, maybe I can get time to travel and meet everybody that I wanted to meet.
You
And
certainly
hopefully maybe
start
go
getting
on
them meals in
investigations.
the
Hopefully,
restaurant. Start to get out for them meals with
I
all them
know,
famous
right? And
people.
but thanks, guys, and thank you, Gary, and for Karen. Good job, Karen, for the question. I love it.
If you can just hang on there and we'll bring the broadcast to an end. Thanks, everybody. Karen's put some more shows up there on the platform as well. So if you can hang on in there and we'll just end the broadcast there. And thanks to everybody for tonight. Stay safe, stay strong, folks. Keep going, keep doing what you're doing.